Hey, Up North Guy again. I'm going to do a video for beginners to compact tractors, and specifically the John Deere 2025R, which is the model that I've got here. You know, maybe your spouse always takes care of the tractor and they're not around, so you need to at least know how to do a basic operation to move the tractor from one place to another. Or if you're just new to this and you're trying to figure out, what do I need to do, what do I need to learn to even operate one of these tractors, then let's check this video out. So a couple of things to notice on the tractor, and it depends on the model you have. I have a loader on here. That's this whole assembly here that goes down, around, and then on the other side. Now the loader, you can see, is down on the ground. That is the way it is supposed to be parked. So if it's parked properly, that loader is dropped down. Sometimes there's a bucket on there, or pallet fork, or some other kind of implement. I don't have any implement on here, but the loader is down on the ground. Leave it down so you take the weight off of those load arms. So typically it's going to be in the down position like that. You come around to the back, I have a 3-point hitch. That is this assembly back here. 3 points, 1, 2 on the bottom, and then the third point is here on the top. So you hear about a 3-point hitch raises and lowers implements on the back. Now I have a water tank here. You may have something else on your tractor, maybe a blade or something like that. This is also down on the ground. So you leave it down. When it's parked like this, you take the weight off the back of the tractor and this whole load assembly. So that's typically the way the thing is parked. All right, so one thing you want to check is, does it have enough fuel in it? This one's got a little fuel gauge here. It's got about 3/4 of a tank, so I've got plenty of fuel. In the case of this tractor, it's diesel. All right, so diesel is not the same as gasoline. Diesel is a special kind of fuel. If you put gasoline in here, just like you'd put in your car, you'd ruin the motor pretty quickly. So it's got to be diesel. Does every gas station have diesel? No. How do you know whether there's a diesel pump there if you had to go get diesel? They're normally on the ends. The end rows of where the gas station is, and it's also marked with green, like green numbering. That'll indicate which gas station actually got diesel. You have to get diesel to fill this thing up. If it isn't starting, let's say, that could be the reason that it's out of gas. This one's pretty simple to fill up. You get your diesel in a can, and then you can just pour it right down in there. Make sure you get the right kind of fuel. In this case, it's diesel. If you look up here, it's got this big rounded bar on it, which is called the Rollover Protection System, or ROPS for short. And what it does is helps you in the cases where the tractor might roll over. These tractors run on irregular surfaces, so there's a real risk that you could roll over. This one is in the up position here, as typically where you want to have it. However, if you're pulling it into a garage like mine, that will not clear that garage. So you got to be careful when it's up. Do you have enough clearance, whatever you're moving this thing around, so it does not hitting the top there. You can lower it. It's got a couple of bars here with a little pin on there. You can pull that out, pull these pins out. A locking pin here comes out. This will slide out here. Now even from the ground, I can move this myself to a lower position. Here I'm going to kind of put it down in a flat position because let's say I've got some low clearance, or I want to get this in the garage. I need to have this lower here. Mine also has a mower deck in the middle here. It's a mid-mount mower deck, auto connect. It sits pretty low to the ground, but it also has little rollers here, so if you're moving the tractor, you don't really need to worry too much about how low that is. All right, so let's take a look at the controls on the machine here. So first thing is, there's a transmission here lever. It's got this orange knob on it. It's got a low gear, it's got a neutral, and it's got a high gear. You can only start the machine in neutral. If I were to shift this into low or high, and then I tried to start it, it would not start. So it has to be in neutral. I always leave it in neutral when it's parked, and it's got to be in neutral if you want to start it. Low and high speeds are just that. So most of the time I'm going to have mine in low. If you want to go faster, you can put it in high, but the low gear is generally where I'm going to be doing most of my work. On this one, there's a PTO lever here with this yellow knob on here. It's got 3 different settings. You don't need to worry about this unless you're going to run any implements on the tractor. PTO stands for power takeoff, and what it's doing is applying the power from the motor to some implement on the tractor. Like I would need to run the PTO in order to run the mower blade, or I would need to run the PTO if I wanted to run this water tank in the back here, which has got a little motor right there. And these selections here, this one is for the middle right here. This one runs the middle and the back, and then this one runs the rear only here. So 3 different settings here. The numbers on there are the RPMs for the engine, the maximum RPMs for the engine that you want to run that speed at. Again, if you're just moving this tractor, you don't need to do anything with this. Doesn't matter what position it's in, it's not going to have any effect. It gets turned on by this little yellow button here. It's got the little tractor indicator there. That's your PTO switch. You hit the top of this, that's going to run whatever you have set on here, either the mid and rear. So that's your PTO. Again, not anything to worry about if you just need to move the tractor. It's got a brake on the left here, and then on the right you can see it's got 2 pedals, one with a forward indicator and the other with a backward indicator. So this is how you move the tractor forward or backwards. It's not a gas pedal, it's a directional pedal that just applies the correct direction to the transmission here. Your gas, if there's any kind of gas, it's this right here. This is the throttle here in the yellow. You can see it's got a little turtle for slow and a hair for fast. So here it's in the slowest position. As I move this up, the engine speed is going to increase. So if I want more power, I'm going to go here. If I want less power, I'm going to pull this thing back. So think of this as kind of like your gas pedal, but that's your throttle that's going to control the power overall to the engine right there. It also has got a parking brake on it here, and this is just a simple handle. If you're parking it and you want to apply it, you're pushing down on the brake, and then you're pulling up on that lever. That's going to lock in the parking brake. If you want to release the parking brake, or you're not sure if it's on, press down on the brake all the way, and then just drop that down. That'll release the parking brake. It'll also have a little red P that lights up in the dashboard there when the parking brake is on. So 2 other levers to be aware of here. They're right on your right side of the operator station. This one with a little ball at the top here, this is a joystick. This is also how you control the loader. So if it has a loader on it, this is how you want to control it. So now I have the loader down. If I want to move the loader back up, I'm just going to pull this thing directly backwards. So this will move it up and down, and then when I move side to side, it's going to dump and it's going to scoop. So it's controlling whatever that implement is on the front there, side to side. But to get it up, let's say when I start and I need to move it, I'm just going to pull this thing directly back. That'll raise up the loader back there. The other lever here with all these numbers on it is called the rock shaft lever. This controls the 3-point hitch in the back. So if I want to raise the 3-point hitch, I'm going to pull back on this lever here. That's going to raise this entire assembly up. If I want to drop this down, I'm going to push this lever down. So if I think about it, I'm going to start, it's on the ground right now. That means before I go anywhere, I need to pull this thing up. So it's kind of at about position 3. I don't really look at the numbers so much. It's a bit forward here. I'll need to pull this thing back to raise up the 3-point hitch in the back there so I can get the tractor to move. The diesel motor, it's a little bit different than a gas motor in that when you start it, you got to give it a little time to sort of warm up. There's glow plugs in there, not spark plugs, so they're going to need a little time to warm up. Once the tractor is warm, it's no problem. You can just turn the key over just like you're starting up your car. If it's cold, then you want to turn that key halfway and listen to it click for, I would say, at least 15 seconds or so until it sort of warms up a little bit. Then you turn the key the rest of the way to start it. I'll show you how to do that now. So here's the start here. I'm going to turn this to the middle position. You see the dash kind of light up there, the tachometer go over, it's got some lights flashing, that's okay. Leave it run a little bit like that. Turn it over to the farthest position, then the engine's going to turn on. Alright, so we'll put it all together here. I've started, I've got it in neutral. I don't care about this. I don't need to do anything with my PTO. I have it in neutral, it's running right now. I'm going to pull the loader up. So here I'm going to pull back, straight back, and the loader goes up. I'm going to put it down, push forward, back, forward. It's going to lower it. Pull it up. So now that's up off the ground. And now my 3-point hitch, I'm going to pull this back. As I do that, my 3-point implement is up off the ground. So we'll take a look at this. Loader's up off the ground. My 3-point hitch is up off the ground. I'm all clear and ready to roll now. Parking brake is off, so that is off, that's pushed down. I'm going to leave this be here for a second, and I'm going to put it into gear, which means I'm going to slide this lever from neutral up to low. So I'm going to step on the brake, push that into low. I release the brake, nothing happens. I'm just sitting here. So I'm going to tap on my forward pedal here, and now I'm going to move forward. Say I want to stop there, I want to shut it off, I'm going to pull this back into neutral here, pressing the brake, putting it back into neutral. Just leave it like this. I didn't even need to use my throttle, I just kept that at the low idle position. Turn it off, and I've moved the tractor. So if I wanted to move it backwards, again, I'm going to push in the brake pedal here, put it down into low. Again, I can let up the brake pedal, nothing's happening. Now I'm going to use the rear pedal here. Move it backwards. As soon as you let off the rear pedal, I don't even need my brake. It just stops itself. Just like that. If I want to go forward, I'm just going to tap on this one. If I wanted more throttle, it's going to give it more power. Going to go a little bit faster, not a whole lot. It's got more power to the engine now. I'm going to go backwards. Throttle down, put this in neutral. If I wanted to drop down my front loader, I'm just going to push this down so it hits the ground like that. If I want to drop down my rear implement, I can just push that down and then that's done there. Turn off the tractor. Alright, so hopefully this was helpful for you if you're a beginner. I was a beginner a couple of years ago. I didn't get any instruction from the dealer. I watched a bunch of videos, got on here and figured out myself how to do it. So basic operation, it's really not that hard. A couple things to think about. Hey, check out my channel. It's Up North Guy on YouTube. I got a lot more videos about the 2025, how I use it, what I do with it, how to maintain it, and also other videos about how-tos and product reviews, life and living up here in beautiful northern Michigan.